Hello there, Aquarius. Welcome to your August forecast. It's really great to see you again. I hope that this month is getting off to a good start for you, and I'm giving you a little bit of a bonus feature here at the beginning because I know that everybody just came through a retrograde cycle, and whenever you have Mercury retrograde, even the best of us, it can kind of be challenging. And some of you may know this, but at the beginning of this month, there's also a little bit of a shadow, and that gives you a chance to resolve anything that might have been left over from last month. But it also is a very sort of transmuting energy. And while some people freak out about the retrograde shadow, I think it's your last chance to sort of heal yourself, to set the stage for a really wonderful end of the year, because we're in the last quarter of the year for the most part. And I want to do my part to help everybody shift into the positive energy. And as a part of this, I did a meditation for all 12 signs. And I'm starting off every reading this month with a little bit of information on how you can navigate the first week to 2 weeks as you go through that retrograde shadow. We'll be getting into all of your sign-specific information right after that, so please stick around. But first, again, let's talk about that transmuting energy that everybody has access to. So as I was meditating, the first image that came to me was the beautiful moon, and it looked just like the moon card itself. And as I was tuning into that energy, the first thing that I realized is that for most of you this month, heightened intuition would be part of the gift of the retrograde shadow. However, the energy to me felt very, very subtle. So my first message would be to really allow for those whispers of intuition to come through to you, whether you're experiencing that in a dream, a persistent thought, or maybe a symbol in your environment. It could be an animal totem, there could be a billboard or even a license plate. And as you look at these things, you're suddenly triggered to think of something else. This may sound a little abstract, but it's really no different than when you look at a card and you understand what the symbol functions as, but then your intuition allows you to go somewhere else. That's the magic of tarot, but you can also extend that to the environment, and that's what natural intuitives and psychics do every day. I pulled this card out of the deck because I wanted to talk a little bit about what I was seeing in the moon, and particularly I wanted us to focus on the dog and the wolf here and what they are going to represent for many of you this month. To boil it down into like one sentence, I would say don't overthink things. Basically see it and feel it with your heart, and as you're navigating through things, that's going to be your North Star. If it feels good on an intuitive level in your heart space or in your third eye, you know you're on the right path. If your gut as well is telling you, I shouldn't do this, or if you get butterflies in a good way and you think this is great, I also want you to tune into that. Use your body and use the different chakra systems within your body this month and observe how it feels to be talking to someone, present in an environment, thinking about doing something, and use this as your own sort of tarot, if you will, because that's what our chakras operate as. We don't always need a deck of cards, and this month you actually have an opportunity to get more in touch with your natural intuition and your empathy. And as you do that, it's going to help you conduct some healing in your life as well. When we look at the spread, I'll take a look at the deep past and see if there's anything that you need to resolve, and that's something that you can use this natural opening for at the beginning of the month, okay? The second card and the second image that came through was the Magician. This is the natural channeler of tarot. This is also a natural healing card. I think that once you do the requisite work on yourself, you're going to be able to have this great sort of rush of energy this month. And if you've been feeling depleted, my advice is to shine that light into whatever fear you had, maybe last month or have this month. And that's what we see here with the Scorpion. You're going to emerge stronger once you realize that this isn't as scary as it seems. The water here is representing all of your fears. The scorpion is something that you're afraid is going to come out of it. But when you shine the light, you realize that this is just shadow energy. So if there's an insecurity, maybe about yourself, your skills, your body, whatever, or if there's something about a relationship or your sexuality, or if there's something that somebody said to you and it's just kind of stuck in your auric field, go into that space this month and put love, put light, and really allow yourself to feel safe there. And as you start to melt away whatever residue is there, you'll start to feel your energy come back. Because I feel like some of you might have been courted by someone, or you might have just kind of allowed for an opening to exist there and energy's depleted. So you're going to heal that this month, and that will be your meditation, is to bring closure to old experiences and to sort of brighten and lighten your auric field. And then you can look more like this card. Look at all the resplendent light coming through and feel that you're pulling in and channeling from spirit or from source. Once you do that, again, you're unstoppable, and I want you just to kind of allow yourself to receive a healing yourself so that you can continue to do this beautiful work that you're already doing for the planet, and I can see that in the Magician. I feel like a lot of you are already naturally there to support other people, or you're doing something really great for the planet, or there's something in store for you. So I want to try to clear everything out. That's my goal this month, okay? Let's go ahead now and get into the regular forecast. First and foremost, I'd just like to say thank you and welcome back to everybody that has been a long-time viewer. I really appreciate your continued work on yourself and all the love and support that you continue to show here. This has been a great journey together. Let's keep it up, okay? For everybody that's brand new, a nice warm welcome, and let me introduce myself. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and this is how I organize my readings each and every month. I like to start off with sign-specific channeled information, and we'll be getting into that in just a second. And right after that, I like to use a full Celtic cross to look at all of the information for the month. This is very organic, so whatever needs to come through will. It's usually the highs, the lows, and the in-betweens. Because I like to allow that to just be organic and not focus solely on relationships or money, I have an expanded forecast, and in that point, I will look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. This way we get a really nice deep dive in everything, and you get a bird's eye view of everything that's going to come through for the month, so I think you'll like it. In fact, if you do like what you see, please stick around until the very end. Right after I give the summary and right before the closing word, I will let you know how you can support the channel and give back if that's something that you would like. Just as some highlights, that includes, of course, liking and subscribing, joining me on social media, booking an appointment if you would like to, and also doing a contribution, whether it's one-time or sustaining. Any or all of these things make a really big impact in keeping this channel healthy and yours truly as well. So I just want to say thank you in advance. Before I get into the reading, one last note. You can always use this for your sun, your rising, and for your moon sign. You can also watch on behalf of someone else. If you don't know all of that, just stick with the sign that you were born under, and that's going to be more than enough. All right, let's get into the channeled information for the month of August. All right, Aquarius, as I selected a deck of cards and began to meditate specifically on your sign, I felt as if I was an archer. I could feel myself pulling back on the bow, holding onto the arrow, and the message that came through in my automatic writing was it was all about focus. Focus on energy and intention. But the other thing that came through just as I was discussing it here for you is that some of you may be putting your focus towards love as well. The important thing for you is the singular sort of energy and attention that you're going to be putting into something. So whether that passion goes into a project or a person, that's up to you. But I did see Cupid in my head as I was doing this as well. So we'll look at the cards in just a moment and see if love is a component or if it's just about putting that passion and injecting it into something that you care about in your life. It could be something like a job. It could be your health. It could be, a hobby. Whatever you want to do this month, pick something, one thing in particular, because you don't want to be scattered. I only saw one arrow. I really didn't look at what the final target was. I just felt like there was a single point of view that you were headed towards. So that's your key to success this month. Don't spread yourself thin. Pick one thing, focus on that, and put your heart into it 100%. And something fun may come out of this, including a relationship for some of you. Let's go ahead now and let the cards reveal what they will for the month ahead. I'm going to remain quiet at this point while I lay out the Celtic cross, but afterwards I'll pull each and every card up to the camera and talk about how it relates to you and the month ahead. All right, as we take a look at your catalyst this month, the message is to try to expand your horizons here. We have vast vistas, and it's almost as if it's like moving day here. So some of you may be thinking of packing up and moving, starting a new job, trying to just turn a new leaf in your life. And I think this does tie into that channeled information of kind of picking a target and going after it. So I really do encourage you to chase after whatever dream that is. It feels like this is the time. Some of you have been waiting way too long. So if that makes sense, then do that. Otherwise, this could just be a great time to plan a trip, a vacation, or some sort of getaway just to kind of break up the monotony. In many ways, this illustration does remind me of the Fool. I would just say again, the one difference here is that we see there is some sort of baggage that's coming along with this. The reversal of this is showing that for many of you, this is an overdue shift, an overdue change, like that move or that traveling or getting away. It's time to make it happen if you haven't thus far. And with the sort of baggage component, this is about maybe getting rid of some things, or if you do travel, just travel lightly so that you can really enjoy where you're going without worrying about all of your things, if that makes sense. Let's go ahead now and look at each card in the Celtic Cross, starting with the center. We have a foundational Four of Pentacles. A lot of times when I look at Four of Pentacles, it's illustrated with someone hiding something or covering up their heart space. This one, that's not the case. It's showing that some of you might be trying to build a better financial sort of security blanket or foundation, and there is a note here of needing to be a little bit more patient since the card was reversed. If you're at a point where you just started to hit the reset button, it takes time to rebuild. With that being said, you do have an Ace of Pentacles in the crowning position. So if you are at a point in your life where you're still working, this can indicate a better job coming through, or perhaps the sale of a house or property and money coming into your hands. This could also just mean a gift of money as well. Whatever's going on with your financial or resource situation right now, I'm feeling pretty good about this because you have the Ace of Pentacles here and we have that little rabbit showing growth and prosperity. So try not to worry too much about where you're at, because crossing that we also have the Three of Wands, which tells me that things are going to improve. There could be a move or travel on the horizon for you. And for those of you that are trying to find a way to like break out a little bit, maybe if you're an actor, or if you have a small business, or if you're at work and you're trying to climb that corporate ladder, this card is showing recognition, not right away, but it's going to start happening. And you should start to see some signs, I would say, within the next quarter year. So by the end of the year, some conversations or some sort of interest will start to come through. And I think this month is the exact time that you should be planting the seed for that, because this card shows you getting ready and literally laying down the foundation or planting a seed. This is showing the next quarter year. You should see movement on it, and with the crowning card being the Ace of Pentacles, now is the time, okay? The other thing with the Three of Wands, if there's something or someone that you want to connect with that is overseas or abroad, this is showing the ability for you to start to globalize a little bit, to stretch out. If you have a business, a brand, or a reputation that you're trying to grow, this is also saying that there's some really good momentum that's building up this month for you. As we look at your deep past, I can see why things are looking good with the Three of Wands here. We have the Six of Wands. This is about public acclaim, support, goodwill, good sort of word of mouth, and it feels like your hard work is paying off. Don't be afraid to take a vacation this month. With something like this, it shows that you're in a place right now where if it's slowed down, or even just to kind of set a good example, it would be good for you to pull back. As I look at this guy in the picture, he's a little small compared to all of the wands and the hands around him. So I would say it's important for you not to get fatigued. I feel like some of you might be either too in the weeds or too involved in certain things going on with friends, with family, with coworkers, with neighbors. So pull back a little bit. Know that part of the reason this happens is you're so well respected that people just want a piece of your time and energy. So remember to manage that a little bit. That was something that we talked about way back at the beginning when I was saying what was available to everyone this month. Heal your auric shield, heal your energy, and kind of recharge. Once you've done that, then you can start to kind of share that light, share that energy with others. But in this particular illustration, I'm seeing that people may be trying to tap into all of that great potential that you have. You got to keep some of that for yourself, and remember, focus, putting that into your own projects, your own passion, or maybe a relationship. In the recent past, we have the Six of Cups. For many of you, this is because you are kind of holding out for that perfect relationship or perfect friendship. There may also be someone from the past that you're thinking about quite a bit. If you've just had a party, a celebration, a reunion, this card can come through because of new connections that you've made. It is showing up in the recent past. This can also be that same gathering, in which case, if you were having some big public event, it feels like you made quite a splash, because I'm seeing with that new growth, new friendships, new opportunities. This same energy is available to you this month, so for those of you that are looking to grow your business, and there's maybe a business conference nearby, you should absolutely do that. Or if you want to take a class, you could meet someone, a key partner could come through on that. And if you're looking for love, get out there, explore the community, because whatever you decide to do, you have this attractive energy. It's coming through twice here. This is people wanting to be around you. This is connecting with an old friend or connecting with someone that you have like a instant rapport with. And then I see something really positive coming through, and this is your crowning card. So whatever you were doing right last month, keep doing it this month, because I like where you're headed. And I think one thing that I want you to start to imagine is that you're going to find a way to make finances work, because it does feel like some of you have, at least in the past, maybe had a limiting thought or worry about that. But I'm seeing things starting to unfold in a positive direction in the month ahead and probably the year ahead, since that's in your crowning position. So stay positive. In fact, that message of positivity, particularly in your thoughts, is coming through when we look at near future. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse, which of course can indicate you because you're an air sign, but the fact that it's reversed is something that I want to focus on. Queen of Swords upright, that's great. It's strong, it's outspoken, it's powerful, communicative. The reverse of this can be sometimes, even in a subconscious way, not realizing that you are not fully embracing your power. You may say something like, hey, it's just me. Take the just out. Start saying, hi, it's me. I want you to look at your speech patterns and the way that you communicate, the tone that you're communicating, the way that you're holding yourself, nonverbal cues, because I feel like you are inadvertently limiting your potential a little bit, or you might even have some old programming from maybe a parent, an ex, or some former person in your life, and it kind of is playing around at like an old-fashioned tape machine in your head. As part of that early meditation that I talked about way back at the beginning when you're healing your auric shield, I want you to go into your crown chakra, and if you still hear that person's voice, I want you to imagine that you're going in there with like a magic eraser, and you're going to go through it and you're going to start to pull out the sound. And keep doing that. Move your hands, because I can actually feel the energy in my fingertips. You can imagine that you're going to go in and do like psychic surgery and pull out that sound or that thought and just toss it out, send it out into the horizon, because somebody else's voice is in there, someone else from the past. Again, it could be an old partner, it could be someone that's passed away, a parent. It feels like it's distant past for many of you, and I want you to clear the sound in between your ears and in your head, because then you're going to start to hear your voice, which is stronger, which is assertive, which then we can turn this card upright and it's going to be direct. And that's what I want you to be. I want you to be the Queen of Swords. And that's going to be one of the ways that you can really start to turn around things with finances. And also that Four of Pentacles card can be your own sort of self-confidence and insecurities. You're going to overcome that this month. But you have to meditate on whoever from the past, teacher, parent, former lover, ex-friend, whatever. Somebody's voice got in there and it's echoing and ricocheting around. So I want you to clear it out. One last thing that I'd like to touch on is the power of words and how they resonate in your head. You'll notice that she's holding, I believe it's a lute. You guys helped me identify it before, but it's an old-fashioned instrument. And the important thing is that when it's upright, everything sounds melodic. When it's reversed, it's like discord. It's not harmonious. And what I want you to think about is how your words can have the same effect. Think of the word harmony or melody or beauty. They have this nice kind of flow to them. And then if you think of a word like stupid, idiotic, they have this sort of staccato rhythm to them. And as they sit in your head and ricochet, they make you feel bad too. When you use vulgarity or sort of curse words, the same thing is true. They're very short, they cut to the core, and it's not really good for your energy. So I want you to start to maybe write down some words to describe yourself in the affirmative language, positive words, and put them in the highest frequency possible and meditate on them almost as if they're a mantra. And it could be something like resplendent. Resplendent means like full of light, glowing, beautiful. Even using words like that, thinking to yourself, I am beautiful, I am resplendent, I am a light worker. That could be your mantra every morning. 3 statements in the affirmative. To reset whatever that person said in the past or whatever that situation was in the past. You could actually take their words and thoughts, go in to a thesaurus and look up the antonyms and the opposite and try to reset that, because you can go in and reprogram the energy. I want you to be careful of how you think of yourself and how you think of others. Think of everything being a blessing rather than a curse, because have we ever thought of what we call like negative language? If we call it a curse word, what are you doing? You're basically cursing someone. So I want you to bless yourself and bless others. That's what you should be doing with language. Better not to say anything if you can't say something in that heightened, high frequency language. Make sense? Okay. Now let's take a look at your ego this month. We have Temperance in reverse, which is encouraging you to get out of your safe zone. Temperance is a very safe card. That's literally, you'll see someone kind of putting like one foot in the water, really trying to balance everything out. This month, in order for you to be able to have a breakthrough, to get your energy back, to heal yourself, to possibly kind of erase some of these bad thoughts or old habits, it's going to require you getting out of something that was comfortable, because sometimes that old habitual kind of sequence that we were in, it feels like a warm blanket. It's predictable. I don't want you to have that anymore. I want you to kind of think, you know what? I'm stronger than this. I don't need the blanket. I've outgrown that. And when we look in the environment, we have the Knight of Wands and it's in reverse. So I would say, to turn this upright, I want you to start to think of what value you bring to other people. You're a good listener. And that's what this card is showing. That sometimes I think you bring everything internal, but you don't express what you think or express how you feel. This month, even if it's just demonstrative, if you show a little bit more, don't hold back on that strength, because we have a Queen card showing your potential here, and then in the environment we have a Knight. So I think that when it comes to how you value your thoughts or how you express yourself in nonverbal cues, this month you can hold your posture up a little bit more. You can share your ideas with someone when they ask, and don't make apologies. Choose language that puts you in a place of being on the equal footing of someone else. Again, never say it's just me, say it's me. Or just don't negate yourself or your seat at the table, if that makes sense. So as we look at hopes, fears, and opportunities, it's interesting that we have the 8 of Swords. That kind of fits the bill here, because we're taking something that could cause you fear but is going to bring you to a place of bravery, because this card normally shows a woman blindfolded with swords surrounding her. That feeling of her being imprisoned or entrapped then takes away her feeling of hope. Your opportunity this month is to be optimistic, to find light where there previously was dark. A great way to tap into this energy of alchemy is to look up something called the Prayer of Saint Francis. It doesn't matter what religion you are. Basically, I like it because it's very much sort of like word alchemy. They'll say things like, where there is doubt, have there be faith. Where there is despair, let there be hope. Where there is sadness, replace it with joy. So you're taking one extreme and putting something beautiful in place of it. And I think that what you could do this month is the same thing. Whatever someone took away in the past, imagine that you're rebuilding this month, and you're going to basically create a new foundation, putting all the beauty, all the joy, and rebuild all of that around you so that you can kind of escape whatever the shackles were. You can see above all of those words that they cast around you before, and you're going to emerge as the Empress. We want her to be upright though. And the thing that I would say with the upright Empress versus the reversed is, you don't have to second guess your authority. You don't have to check in on other people. You trust that they're going to do their job, and you basically just focus on taking care of yourself. It's the Universal Mother card, right? Some of you may be putting all of your energy into nurturing someone else, even if they're not your child. you just have this ability to kind of like give this big energetic hug to people. If at all possible, flip that around and put that investment in yourself this month, because your crowning card was the Ace of Pentacles, which means that whatever you decide to put your time, your energy, and all of your sort of focus into, getting right back to this, your energy and your intention, you're going to see a great return on that. A final piece of advice I'd like to offer with the Empress in reverse is to hold back on giving support or advice unless someone comes to you first. And this is another great way to sort of naturally create some boundaries and know that you're not overstepping. And again, this could be neighbors and friends and family members that you know that there's a way that you could help them with a problem, or you worry about them, but wait for them to say, hey, what do you think about this? Because then that invites you into that. And even then you may decide that it's not worth your time and energy. It's all about choosing what you want to invest in this month. Imagine that you're like, the minutes on your clock were just like dollar signs in the bank, because it's true, it's a different type of currency. Same thing with your heart. All of the love and affection that you give to someone, it's just like, you know, there are currency symbols attached to it. So spend it wisely, and you're going to see some sort of a shift coming when you decide to invest in things that feed you as well, okay? Let's go ahead and expand the forecast. We're gonna look first at health. This is an all-inclusive card. It includes mind, body, and spirit, so we're gonna give it a good shuffle and see what it has to say for you this month. As we look at your health message this month, it's really about nutrition and self-care from the inside out. We have a beauty card here, Helen of Troy, one of the ultimate symbols of beauty, but the card is reversed, which is showing that a lot of times I think we tend to kind of focus on what we're putting on our skin or shampooing in our hair, but the true sort of health and beauty comes from nutrition and what we put into our body. And for some of you, when I see Pentacles cards, they can show like nutrient deficiencies depending on which numbers, or too much protein. And that's what I'm seeing for many of you this month, is there could be something out of balance when it comes to your protein intake or your mineral intake. If that's the case, please work with a nutritionist and a doctor to try to square that away. Otherwise, it's just reminding you that health is like 365 degrees. It doesn't just include what you see here. It's, again, how much sleep you get, what kind of food you're eating, is it processed, is it organic, how much alcohol or sugar you're consuming. This month, you really want to bring all of that internal sort of self-care into check. So if you've been lucky and you have like good genetics and you just look great, but you haven't been filling up the tank in the right way, start putting the right sort of fuel in your body this month, and that's the main message. The more you do that, think of a car. I'm using that metaphor for a reason, because if you have good maintenance inside and out, the car will last a long time. We only get one vehicle on this planet. This is it. So treat it with love, treat it with care, and really make sure that the internal sort of fuel that you're putting in, diet, and also the exercise that you're doing externally, everything is balanced out, okay? And let's go ahead now and take a look at your wealth card for this month. Wealth includes not just money, but also opportunities, and what kind of message you're sort of portraying to the universe. Are you ready for the opportunities, or are you pushing them away? So we have Saint Germain coming in your wealth sector, and just so you know, Saint Germain is connected with the violet flame. I think I have an old meditation on my website and YouTube, so feel free to look that up if you'd like. But the main thing with this is there is a healing that can take place, and I want to read the caption here. It says, "Move beyond drama, create your own path, make room for good energy." So you could do that meditation, but I think the key things here are create your own path and move beyond that drama. For some of you, this is simply about moving on, taking a break and just walking away from an argument or a situation that really isn't your problem to deal with. I mentioned earlier that there could be a lot of people coming in and wanting to sort of like siphon off your energy, or maybe in the past you had a habit of kind of being like a helicopter mom or manager where you felt like it was your obligation to automatically fix everything. This month, let that sort of go and realize that as you move past the drama, as you start to get authentic and focus on your path, then you're going to really embrace the energy that we see here, which is the Ace of Pentacles, possibility, new job, new love, new growth, all of that is coming through. So there is an important and required step, which is to redistribute, refocus, and let go of drama. Unless someone asks for help this month, you don't have to fix things automatically, okay? Let's go ahead now and take a look at love and see what's coming through across all of your personal relationships this month. It's not just romantic. As we look at love, a great message came through. You may not realize it because the card was reversed, but it says you are treading towards that right path. Keep doing what you're doing, it's working. And I did see that in the crowning position. I think for you this month, it's all about choice though, because right next to this card, when I'm looking at opportunities, there is a lack of clarity that comes through with the opportunity. So I would say, if you could start to believe in your potential, and if you could also clarify exactly what it is you're looking for in love, in partnerships, in relationships across the board, that's going to be really important. And of course, if we look back at that Helen of Troy card, which is in your mind, body, spirit area, I would say one thing that's really, really important for you is to know that all of the work that you do internally will attract a like sort of partner. So as you become healthy, through nutrition and taking care of yourself and working out and just being healthy all around, that's going to call in a similar partner. As you have healthy attitudes towards yourself and change the language and thoughts that you use, same thing. As you start to open up, become more confident, and welcome in abundance, you're going to welcome in people that are also in that higher energy and can take care of themselves. So what you could do is sort of send out a prayer for the best you this month, knowing that the best you is going to attract the best partner. Because really, partners are mirrors of what we need to work on or who we're becoming. So keep doing your thing. That's what this is saying. You're on the right path. Keep exploring. And I think for you, an organic meeting is what's in the cards here. Because as I look at this, yes, there could be a couple of individuals showing up. We have, Lady of Swords, and we have the Knight of Staffs. AKA Queen of Swords and Knight of Wands. But I think that these are really aspects of your personality. Knight of Wands could be a fire sign that's showing up in the environment, which means it's probably someone that you know or a friend of someone that you know. But as we can see here, there's still a lot of work that you're doing on yourself, so there's no rush to get into a relationship unless you're ready. When you're ready, when you turn that switch on, I do feel like it's going to come through for you though, especially with this in the crowning position. Since we're talking about love and relationships, and there's also an indication that you're on the right path for something, I need to mention that we have a very fertile Ace of Pentacles in the crowning position, and we have a card that almost invariably indicates mothers and children. We also have a card here that can be connected with children. So I feel like if you're trying to expand your family, this is a good month to try. If you're not trying to start a family, be very careful this month. Also, a message not related to fertility is just that some of you might have a second chance with an old flame. We have actually several cards that are showing that this is possible, but the Six of Cups in particular, the Ace of Pentacles showing a receipt of an offer and the other person being interested, and again the Three of Wands at the center. Lots of good indications that some of you might be able to kind of rekindle something from the past. It could be a friendship, it could be love. I'm just seeing someone that you used to care about coming back into the fold, and you have a chance to do something different with the relationship this time. All right, let's go ahead now and look at your last card that we'll be looking at today, which is Destiny. Destiny helps you kind of have a gut check to decide, am I on the right path? Do I want to make any changes? And is there something I need to know to be my best version of myself? So let's give the cards a shuffle and see what your message is. And we've come full circle with your Destiny card. We have Instinct, which is right back to what I was talking about. If we look at the sample card here that I was showing you with the moon, I was mentioning that difference between what you were programmed to do and what your intuition or your instinct was telling you. I believe that that's really what we're seeing here. You need to be the wolf this month. And the wolf in the best possible aspect, which is free, sometimes independent, not worried about what other people think, being able to explore and just trusting yourself. Your survival instincts are spot on this month. You can take care of yourself. It's that independence and that trust in yourself that, ironically, for some of you, is going to bring that partner all the closer, especially if you are single and looking. Even if you're single and not looking, you still may have someone coming in. It may not be this month, but I sense it in the next quarter of the year for some of you. If you're in a relationship, by the way, I think the main thing for you to focus on, again, is self-worth, your own independence, walking away from the drama, as we saw earlier, and focusing on, interior health as well as exterior health. So there is an independent energy that kind of flowed through this entire reading this month, and there's nothing wrong with that. So let's go ahead now and do a review of everything that's in front of us, and then I will give you your final word. Your channeled message this month was really to focus both your energy and your attention. I mentioned that love could be something that you called in, but as we saw here, this may not be the main focus this month. In fact, by looking at other areas of your life, you're actually going to call in a higher frequency partner simply by not putting all of your energy there. So it's a little bit of reverse psychology, but it may work in your favor this month. The other thing that we saw here, this card was reversed, but it says expand your horizons. Some of you are overdue for a move, for a vacation, for some sort of a shift or a change in your overall energy. This is going to invigorate you and get you out of any sort of rut that you might be feeling, or if your overall vitality is a little bit lower, traveling could definitely help. Now that you're in the shadow of retrograde, the Four of Pentacles is telling you this is a foundational month during which you can plant seeds of hope. These seeds will grow, as we see here in the crowning position. This is also a time to kind of look at any fears or uncertainty that you have in your life and put some light in that, as we talked about way back at the beginning when we were looking at the umbrella message for all signs. Anything that you invest in this month, we see the Three of Wands on top of it showing growth, and also some immediate signals, I would say, even that you're on the right path, but definitely over the next quarter year, you'll start to see some shifts. In the deep past, it feels like some of you have already made some of the required changes for success. There's good marketing and good PR at work with this. I did mention that you could take a little bit more time away from the crowd because some of them could be pulling at your energy a little bit. Six of Cups, you might meet someone from the past and there's a second chance for some of you to reconnect with them. This is also a card of reconnecting with children or anyone that you might be estranged with from childhood. Again, a chance to heal, a chance for you to improve, and maybe for some of you a chance for love. Ace of Pentacles, fantastic. New love, new jobs, new opportunities, growth with respect to your finances, and also just symbolic of whatever you're investing in. You're going to see something over the next quarter year and definitely over the next year develop from that. We talked a great deal about how thoughts are important, how words are important. Some of you have other people's thoughts or words sort of stuck in your energy or in your head. You can meditate this month and reprogram that, replacing the negatives with positives. Get out of your comfort zone this month, take some risks. It's okay, it's actually going to help you. You don't have to change things completely because we got an indication here that you're on the right path, but this is going to be important as you do some of the reprogramming and healing that we were talking about. As we look at your environment, we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. Keep an open mind, but also don't underestimate your own thoughts, your own body language. You really want to be able to express yourself, express your ideas, and have an equal seat at the table. It was interesting that these two cards were not in parity. So I think that some of you could be selling yourself short a little bit, and I don't want that to happen. This was another card of alchemy as we look at hopes and fears. Really going towards hope overall, using that example of the prayer for St. Francis as a way for you to take any of this negative energy or thoughts and pull them into something positive. As we look at your outcome, a general note that you don't have to fix everything in other people's lives. Focus on yourself, take care of yourself, invest and nurture your body, your mind, your spirit. Remember that this is a great month for fertility, so if you want to invest in a project or an idea, it could come to fruition. Be careful if you don't want to have a baby, because I got 3 cards that show children and conception, and I don't want that to happen unless you want it to happen as well, so I'm just giving you a fair warning. If you've been feeling frustration over this, though, it does feel like this is opening up a little bit, and that's good news for many of you. As we expand the forecast, for health, just a reminder that beauty is more than skin deep. It starts with nutrition, it starts with rest, it's basically also how you feel on the inside. That energy can really make or break it when it comes to how other people perceive you, and also how you love yourself as well. Looking at wealth, this is about releasing drama, going out on your own path, and we saw that here with your outcome here with the wolf card. Follow your instinct. That might mean leaving your job, leaving a relationship, or trying something on your own. The Empress and the Wolf have very similar energies, even if they're in divine masculine and feminine zones. It's the same sort of message. When we look at love, it's saying that you're doing what you need to be doing, whether you're in a relationship or single and happy or trying to create one. The work that you're doing in your life right now is setting the stage for a great relationship or a deeper relationship in the future. Finally, your path may be one that you walk alone, but if you're doing something that you're happy with, that's what's important. It went back to that umbrella message that I said for everyone, which is you may find yourself at this intersection between instinct and training. This month, focus on instinct. So this brings your monthly reading to a close, and I hope it gave you exactly what you needed to travel through the ups, the downs, and the in-betweens for the month ahead. If, however, you ever feel like you want to talk a little bit more, maybe about one of the opportunities that's coming through or a relationship, then I would be happy to chat with you. You can click on the first card in the video or the first link right below, and this will take you to my booking site where you can check out my rates and availability. If that makes sense for you, then I look forward to seeing your appointment on my calendar. Otherwise, there are other ways that you can support the channel. I mentioned at the beginning that everything that you see here is fan supported. I don't charge for anything, but I do kind of rely on you to help support me if you enjoy what you see. So if you click on that second card or second link, it'll take you to a page on my website where you can give some sort of a contribution. It can either be a one-time contribution or something that's more sustaining, like once a month. Even something as small as $1 or $2 really makes a difference here. It helps me carve out that time on my calendar because just like you, I have to work, and if I don't get a lot of contributions, I have to fill up my calendar, and these readings come out a little bit later. So when you give a little more, I can give this to you sooner, and it's a win-win. I just like to say thanks to everybody who's contributed in the past, and if you're thinking of doing it today, thank you for helping make the next round possible. If you only have a couple of minutes and really want to help out, you can also click on the third card or third link. This will bring you to a page where you can subscribe to my newsletter, join me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, if you haven't already liked and subscribed here, you can also do that first. All of these things help show YouTube and me that this is making a difference. And I'd also encourage any of you that feel moved to do so to share this on your social media feed, because this helps me really share this message with as many people as possible. And I put a lot of love and care into all of these videos, and I would love for it to reach the largest audience possible. So thank you in advance for helping me share love and light on this planet, and for doing the work on yourselves as well. That's what inspires me to come here every month. For your closing word, I really want to focus one more time on the final message here that we saw here. Follow your instinct this month. The card was reversed, and a lot of times this is kind of like when you would see the High Priestess card in reverse. You kind of know better sometimes, but you still go through with something. This month, your intuition is getting stronger than ever. Don't second guess yourself. And don't think that it has to come through in one way, shape, or form. As I mentioned earlier, it can come through in signs and symbols. It can come through songs on the radio. It doesn't have to just be cards. It doesn't have to be, a clairaudient voice or a clairvoyant vision. The universe works in a lot of ways, and I've said this before, but I think that angels, guides, and muses can whisper information to you in the form of a thought. So if you really have a big idea this month, follow through on that and don't discount it. And that was something that we saw here, is that some of you may doubt your thoughts or your ability to be able to do something. Don't. You're very solid this month when it comes to that. And again, don't worry about what other people are thinking. Walk to the beat of your own drum, and maybe spend some time on your own if you need to, because that could be really refreshing and a great way for you to recharge your battery. That's your final word for this month. I just want to say thank you so much. I really love and appreciate you, and I couldn't do this without you. So thank you for allowing me to spend the last 45 minutes or so with you. You have a lot of choices here on YouTube and in life as well. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and have a fantastic month, okay? I'll see you guys again next month. Until then.